I'm back with another recap of Churchy. This is the recap of episode 2. The title of it is Lubbock. So, opens up with Corey, just kicked back, getting real comfy behind a desk. His friend Rodney is taking pictures because Corey loves to flex for the gram or whatever. A man walks in and he's just like, "Hey, what's going on?" He just dissing the furniture and all kind of stuff, and just making jokes like, "This is IKEA furniture. I need restoration hardware. First of all, I got a lot of rooms to go. I got a couple of IKEA places. Don't don't poo poo IKEA." Um, but just it's all in good fun. Turns out that the guy that's there is actually the pastor of the church, of course. Um, so cut to Corey talking to his grandma at her house, like, "Grandma, you told me that the pastor was gone. What's going on?" And she just kind of like shoo it off, like, I'm old. So Corey's fiance sends him a text like, "Hey, can you take a picture with that new desk name tag, nameplate that I got you?" So he comes up with this plan to get to the church so he could take a picture. And Rodney's like, "Maybe your dad was right. Like, you so focused on looking good for social media. You just like to play on social media." Because you remember last episode, the dad was like, "You so focused on social media." So, you know, he gets to the church, and as he's walking up, you see the lady's name is Lexi, but I can't remember the name of the character on the show. She's the secretary. So, he finds a way to get the pastor's schedule. He goes up to the pastor, makes nice with him, and, volunteers to help with the appointments on the calendar. So, he kind of humbles himself and is like, "Hey, I just want to help," which is good. Um, so, first appointment is meeting up with this teen who comes in kind of like not really interested with the church. He's talking about masturbating, beating his meat, very crass. He comes in saying like nigga and all this stuff. But him and Corey find a way to connect. He tells him like, "Hey, discovering your body is normal. Just don't be too excessive with it." And they connect. He asks him like, "What would make you come back to the church more?" He mentions like needing good music and stuff. So I thought that was cool. You can see he made that connection with, you know, that member of the church and just making that connection with the youth. He found a way like I could see him bringing his boy Corey in to make it more youthful music, since he said he's the minister of music, and then just him connecting with the youth with him being younger. And then his father, he ain't as young as that young guy, but young as his father. Um, so cut to a scene. You cut to this funny scene with his homeboy Rodney. The grandma walks in. I think there's actually a clip of this on like the Kev on Stage YouTube channel where the grandma walks in. Roddy really put like a whole lot on this. She had a robe on and you could see a little bit of her bra. She wasn't out there just like doing way too much, but you could see a little bit of her bra. She had a robe on. He's like, "Whoa, I'm a house guest. Why you out here like this?" And she's like, "Boy, this is my house and you not a guest. Like, relax." So Roddy calls Corey and is like, "Your grandma in here tripping. She walked out here with this like Savage Fenty on, and she acting like Stella, and she trying to get her groove back." And he ends the call saying, "I'm finna go eat." And Corey like, "Hey, don't play like that." So that was just a funny moment. Um, so next on the list of appointments is an older couple. So they come in with some sexual differences. They've been married for like 20, 30 years, something like that. And she said she want him to eat the booty like groceries, like my girl Janae Aiko. And he ain't agreeing with that. So again, Corey just gives some good advice. Um, about discussing your boundaries outside the bedroom. Then once you get in the bedroom, making sure that you respect those boundaries, but revisiting those boundaries quarterly. Like, that's just good advice in life in general. When you marry, everybody got something different they like, and you just gotta discuss it and kind of meet in the middle. So that was just good advice in general. So then next, you see the fiance putting together a puzzle with Corey's mother, Corey Jr.'s mother, which I think that's really sweet because everybody don't have that kind of relationship with their mother-in-law. As a matter of fact, they're not even in-laws yet. They haven't quite got married yet, so they're just dating. And the mom just points out that Corey Sr. doesn't usually come home until 10:30 at night. And Keisha was really surprised by that. So Keisha's like, wow, she could tell she was surprised, pretty much asking for the advice. And the mom was like, I don't want to deter you or like disturb you with my situation. And she's like, no, I really want your advice because I respect you. So she was like, well, I'm gonna just tell you, a car man, because it's the car is Corey Carr Jr. is Kevin State's character, and then his dad is Corey Carr. So she's like, a car man is headstrong, and he's gonna put the church first. So, she was just like, kind of looking like, man, that's kind of rough. And then the mom just goes on to say, like, I love the Lord too, but it's kind of hard knowing that you always gonna come second in your husband's life because your husband gonna put the church first. So Keisha kind of like gazing off, like, she got some stuff to consider because Corey already doing stuff to put the church first. Like, she had mentioned she didn't plan on going to Lubbock. In the first episode, she was saying he just went off and said he was going to leave the church. And she's like, man, how we going to have our wedding carriage? He already kind of just doing stuff without talking to her. So that's kind of a bad sign. And she's just like, I got some stuff to think about. She didn't really say that, but that's what it was giving me. So next you see Rodney oiling up and doing push-ups shirtless, and Granny walks in. So he pretty much pushing up on the Granny. Like, you said make myself at home. I'm not a guest when you was walking around in your robe, and this is what I do when I'm at home. I do push-ups shirtless, like literally like that. They have like this music playing that's kind of sexy. It was kind of like not really sexy, kind of uncomfortable, kind of funny. But hey, at the end of the day, if you 21 and up, age ain't nothing but a number. So you can tell Granny kind of hot and bothered. She closed that robe up, and he like, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna show you who the real savage is. You wanna walk out in your savage Fenty, I'm gonna show you who the real savage is. So that was just a mess. So secretary shows up at the grandmother's door with a cake, and she pretty much just trying to get the scoop on Corey. Like, Corey just showed up. He didn't have a job or anything, but the grandma's on to her. She's like, Corey does very well financially, and he just wants to come and help and check on me. I love that. Because, Granny ain't going to give you up. She on to you. It take one to know one. The secretary walked out like, man, that boy is up to something. Even though the Granny had the son back, and the grandma's like, she up to something. Because she knows she just was trying to pry. You ain't really worried about bringing me no cake. So Pastor Stinney gives a list of members for Corey to visit. And the last member on the list turns out to be his grandma. But we'll get back to that. So there's a cameo of Kev's parents. I know his name is Corey on this, but again, if you have the Kev on Stage app, you're more than likely a Kev on Stage fan, and you've seen, appearances of his parents. So, like, his parents is one of the members that he goes And mows their lawn, and his mom is like, "Hey, you need to move faster." You know, it was just a cute moment. I love that he's able to include his family. That's a part of the dream of doing your own stuff. You can bring your family into that. I just thought that was so sweet. Um, Another member needs to be fed, and she like sneezes on him, and then a Wahite individual asks him to pick up poop. Then another lady asked him to wash her car, just really doing that work to, help people at the church or whatever. Because, it's like people that's sick and shut in. He also had to play chess with a deacon. Like, it can be some fun errands, but sometimes it's going to be errands that you're not looking into. Like, ministry work can be work. Um, so, after that, like I said, he realized going back, he gets the two last people on his list and he calls Rodney like, "Hey, you need to come and help me." So that's when he realized, hey, this address say that this is my grandma's address, and it say that she has memory problems, and don't let her know that you have memory problems. Well, don't let her know that she has memory problems. So it's like, oh snap. So he finishes with everything. Um, he met with the grandma. They talked. She admits like she has memory problems. That's just a part of getting older, and it just make him. It's a good sweet moment with his grandmother. So he meets with Pastor Stinney and, just gets more words of wisdom. He got good reviews from the other members saying that they felt comfortable with him. And he's like, "I know the last member on your list was your grandmother. So, of course, you treated her like family. But it's important to treat all members of the church like family." Um, so, the only thing that so at the end of this talk, he gets on social media, of course, because of course you can't learn all your lessons in one day. Because I feel like it kind of erases all the good work when you got to get on social media and talk about it. Yes, you can post a little stuff like, "Hey, we doing this community gathering to raise awareness," but like doing all this stuff and having to post it every time you do something good kind of take away from the good of it to me. So he's making a post about like, "Hey, I'm out here doing the real work or whatever," and he's out here like, "Hey, I'm doing the real work or whatever," and he gets a text from JoJo, the teenager that he met earlier, because I think I forgot to mention that when JoJo walked in, he's like, "Where's Pastor Stinney?" He said, "I'm not pastor, but I'm just in here working." So he admits to JoJo that he's not, the real pastor. So JoJo sends him a message like, "You telling me to stop saying nigga, but you out here lying about being a pastor. Like, pretty much make it make sense." And he's like, "Hey, like, don't be on here saying all that." Matter of fact, he didn't text him. He put it on social media. He's like, "You can't be saying this on here." He's like, "All right, I'm not going to put you out there and tell everybody you lying, but give me that same grace when I want to say nigga." He's like, "All right, bet." So, um, there was, at the end, there was a father and son that came in that kind of reflected what he was going through with his father, him being Corey. So at the end, the last of his meetings was with a father and son. Honestly, I thought they was gonna say it was a couple because they kind of looked almost the same age. But hey, that's neither here nor there. It ended up being a father and son, not a couple. Um, but yeah, Corey just kind of started projecting his own feelings on them, and like the dad stopped him. It was like, "Hey, thanks for the advice," because some of it was good, but um, the son was pretty much saying like, "My dad told me to move in, but he doesn't treat me like an adult or whatever." And he gave good advice about giving him space because he's an adult, but then he just started like putting all his own feelings and what he's going through with his own father on them in his advice. And the dad stopped him and was like, "Thanks for the advice that you gave, but make sure you get the help you need." And I feel like that's a very good message. Like, you can't take everybody's advice. My mom always has a saying, "You eat the meat and throw away the bone." meaning like sometimes people got a whole lot to say and everything ain't all bad, but if you find something that doesn't apply to you, just don't apply that to your life. That don't mean the whole message is bad. So sometimes you just gotta cut people off and be like, all right, thank you. That part don't apply to me. You can listen to some of it, but be like, thank you, that doesn't apply to me. Make sure you get some help too. Um, so it ends with JoJo's grandma coming in saying, hey, you know my son it's okay to beat his meat or something like that. She pretty much just totally misconstrued the message that Corey gave the grandson. It was like, you can't see my grandson anymore. And he's just like, what? Like, you just can't win for losing with these people sometimes. You just can't please with everybody. So, episode 2 was very good to me. I really like how they're pointing out the good parts of church, and also pointing out some of the nonsense they can go on. But just saying, like, the point of the church is to be there for your members, treat them like family. Like, church can really be good, giving you that community and having someone to watch out for the elderly people. Because as life goes on, you just be living your own life. It's not that you forget about your grandparents. You just kind of get busy with your own life. So that's where the church can help and giving people advice. So bye baby. I'm talking to my baby. So I like how they really do point out the good parts of church, because I feel like it's low key an attack on the church, but we'll get into that another time. I'm not saying this is unwarranted, because there are a lot of questionable things that can go on, but they bring that to light too. So with everything in life is good and bad to it. I feel like it's just missing that thing where it be like message. It's a lot of parts in there that's the message, like from the classic Wayne's movies or whatever. So this episode was very good. I cannot wait to see episode 3. This is a very good series, and we only 2 episodes in. The character development is good. Like, I'm enjoying it. I keep looking at my hair and pulling in it. I told y'all I was gonna get back on here and try to do better this time. It's the end of the day. I'm in that in-between stage with my locks, but, put me a little gel, retwisted, and got some earrings. I planned on getting on my laptop with a better camera. A storm came through here, and I was like, you know what? Let me just get on this phone and do this review, because I'm trying to do like a nonstop November and just get on here and do these reviews, because it's fun and it was a good episode. So, yeah. Talking about my hair, because I'm looking at it, but again, I'm gonna take this style down, because that's the thing with locks. When you're in a starter lock phase, when you have locks, I feel like it's like, okay, she has locks. But when you're in a starter lock phase, it's like, okay, are these coils and she just needs to take them down, or some kind of style she needs to take down? It's like, no, I'm in the in-between stage. But still, hey, everything is a journey. I'm gonna do a full 2-month starter lock review in another video. I'm actually gonna do a video of me taking this lock style down and give a full review. So let me get off the hair, but I'm doing a review and I'm looking at my hair, so that made me mention it. But anyway, do y'all like Churchy? Are you excited for episode 3? Drop the little church emoji in the comments if you've been watching Churchy. It's on the Kev on Stage Studios app. So yeah, I just gave a recap. Probably should have put it at the beginning. Spoiler alert. I didn't give all the ins and outs, because at the end you see another social media person that you're familiar with. Like, all throughout you see people that you might be familiar with, but at the end you see Sister Red Jacket. Hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler. I believe there was a clip of that on the Kev on Stage Studios app. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So hey, drop the little church emoji if you have been enjoying it too, or if you made it this far in the video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with episode 3 whenever it comes out. I'm assuming it's going to come out on Saturday or Sunday because that's when 1 and 2 came out. All right, take care, y'all.